I have this superstition where I have to turn items away from me when I demold them. It's something I've always tried to do, and
no, it's trying to make me suspicious.
I've passed it on to Janet.
Nah,
You're not superstitious?
I'll do it though for you.
I think you should do it for my sake, yeah. So, all right, so we've got release.
It's kind of released now.
It's released, I think it's out, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, give it a go. Don't forget to turn it away. It's very important. It's like you're praying to the gel coat gods.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that looks pretty nice, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Gee, I think I've actually...
Can I look at it now?
You can look at it, yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
didn't know how long the suspicion
Yeah, I was expecting it to be perfect, and it's absolutely perfect. Look at that, that's your first personal laminating job. I wasn't even here when Janet did these items, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's good. Oh, the little... No, it's actually not you, it's me. It's the gel coat. That's cool, that's cool. It's on the hinge. No, it's on the hinge here.
Yeah, you did the best. No, I can't trust you.
Perfect. Well done, righto. Wax it up and get another one going.
Oh, there's one there too.
No, that's all right. That's getting cut off. Awesome. Righto.
There's no bubbles though.
Oh, you've got 3 more to demold. Don't stand around. This is time is money. It's your money. All right, get in there and demold these ones. That's pretty exciting, isn't it, demolding? I've got to say, because it's... Oh, yeah, that just released. That's fantastic, isn't it? See, that it'll let it go itself. If you've done a good job, and the thicker they are, often the easier they are to get out. So just keep working your wedges around, particularly on small moulds. On big ones, you sort of got to get a bit dangerous with them and a bit aggressive. But with this, yeah, it'll just pop off in a second. And I love that sound. That's the demolding.
I know it's a good sound, but it still makes me nervous.
Brilliant. That's good. That's small stuff I don't have to do anymore, which is really nice. It's all I got to do is I'll teach you how to spray gel coat. Yeah, do it.
Oh, it was out.
All right, present it away from yourself. It's very important.
You're making me nervous.
Oh, that looks perfect too.
Is that?
Yeah, you can look at it. Yeah, it's perfect. Well done. Amazing. Righto.
Yeah, gel coat's a bit iffy, but...
Righto, get the mould wax and go again. That's plasticine. That's okay, perfect. And the last one for the day. It was a good afternoon's work yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, considering I got here so late.
Yeah, 4 o'clock Janet started. We finished at 8. And I'd sprayed them up.
I'd done a lot with the jobs before.
Oh, I know.
I had nothing to do.
Got the dog groomed. Righto, turn it away. This is our rear hatch. Oh yes, that looks good. Now you can look at it. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Well done, Don. Cool. Happy?
Yeah, I am actually.
Brilliant.
I'm happy with the first one because that was my very first, absolutely on my own.
Well
apart
done.
from the spraying.
Good on you, Don. So all of Janet's hard work has revealed this. This will be the hatch for our ladder, and that's going to be mounted in a cavity underneath that'll have the ladder attached to the actual hatch, so that when you open the hatch, the ladder will lift with it. It'll have hinges probably on the outboard side and locks there so that it can't be torn out. I do have to be wary of water flushing up underneath and ripping that out, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that yet. There seems to be a good method, but I'll work it out as we go. But that's going to look pretty good, and that'll finish the whole sugar scoop. I'm not doing anything by halves, but I think I've come across one of the bigger challenges I've faced for a while. This Helm station. Why did I go for curves? I know it's going to look the part, but my God, it's difficult. Curves are always difficult. 90 degree is definitely the way to go. What I'm trying to do here is bend this guy here to that shape and that shape to make it look like it all flows neatly. And this is the centerpiece here, so that'll be the part that holds the actual helm. But if you look at here, the only way to do this is really to torture it into place, and basically torture it and then glue it all and then re-laminate it all. And I've curved the back of it, basically destroyed the back of it, but I'm not that concerned. I'm just trying to get the ultimate shape here, and then I can remove it, sand it up, and hopefully get some sort of better result here. But the best way to do that, I've found, is by putting in some screws. Now all of these areas here, once this is in place, are going to be sanded and fed back anyway, so it's not really going to matter by putting in screws. But by pinning it in with these pins is the way to do it. By torturing it into place, I can actually get the exact shape I need, including all these complex curves. I'm seriously starting to think I should have gone for right angles, but yeah, it's going to pay off in the long run. What a job. Just trying to tension this thing into place and force it to go where I want it to go is not an easy feat. I've got all manner of cleats and things holding this together. What I'm intending to do is get the panels joined with a little bit of tabbing, so tabbing here and then everywhere along it to get the outside shape of it, and then once that's in place, I'll be able to remove that top, get some tabbing on the back side. So I got into it and done a complete lamination of the joins on the front, and while I was at it, I was able to access the back of it. I've already laminated all the way here, so I've consolidated this curve. So what I'm planning to do is actually lower this part of the helm station down about 1 inch. I need a little bit more real estate up the top here, so by lowering it, I'm actually going to get a little bit more room to put in all my gauges and the throttle and the works. But by the same token, what I'm also going to be able to do is lift this whole thing out once I've glassed the back of this other curve here that I've spent nearly all day trying to consolidate. Once that's laminated, the whole thing should lift out, and I should then be able to take it up into the factory there and actually detail it a little bit and get it really nice, including incorporating the actual the cutouts of the stair modification that I did back there. Build this whole thing in one piece up in the factory on a jig or up on a table so that I can actually work on the finer detail. I think it's a little bit hard while I'm doing it here. Once I get the rough shape, I know that I can get the thing up there, get it ready to go. Righto, this is the last one of the roof linings. They're all popped out. We had a little bit of a stick up along here. It just goes to show you when you don't pay attention. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was running from one mold to the other. Didn't quite consolidate down here, but that's easy repaired. A bit of polishing and a little bit of detailed sanding, and we'll get to that. But yeah, so I'll just run my wedges along here, get this released, and hopefully that'll be it. That's all the little molds done except for the front hatches. All right, that's perfect. So that's pretty much all the roof lining's done. That's a really big milestone for us because it means all the molds are now available to go when it's sold, and it looks like it might be sold. So we're pretty stoked about that. We're pretty wrapped about the fact that we could possibly have the mold gone here by the end of next week. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. As long as the guys come through, we'll be happy. Okay, I've had a couple of test fits of this roof lining, which actually fits up in here in our head, and it's a bit of a pinch up in this corner here. Now, I've probably been a bit overzealous and trimmed that module a little bit too much, but I'm happy to do the restorative work that's needed to get this to fit in there. It's basically going to have to tie this one into the lining that fits here, but I can't cut this window, and I need to cut this window for some more light until I get this lining fitted. So this little black line here, I'm just going to basically shave it back until I can get this part to fit. Now, I'm going to have to remove pretty much all of the internal flange on this and all the way around here at some point, but I'm going to leave it on there until I get it fitting roughly, and then I'll squeeze it in there. And what I'm intending to do is actually glue this module to the actual wall of the boat with some small pucks on the wall. So I don't want any vibration or any squeaking with this thing. So we want to make sure that we get it fitting correctly, but it's going to be a bit of trimming before I can do that. Well, I've had some battles in my time, but this one's getting very, very complicated. And I'm just gradually cutting away little sections to make it fit into the existing module that's in there. And I've been battling here for hours on these internal roof linings. I was warned that they weren't going to fit right, so that forewarning didn't sort of highlight to me that it was going to be a nightmare. But yeah, so I've got this one in exactly the right spot now. What that means is I can trace out the window and cut the window and give myself a little bit more light and get the window core. That's sort of more important now than getting the lining in place. But I do know that this part here has to slope down to match the other parts here that I've actually had to cut in half to put in, because it was just going to twist it and it was starting to stress crack. And to be honest, there's actually a glass shower wall there, and having them in two pieces may actually be to my advantage, but I'll put them in two pieces. They fit in here, and they do fit really quite nicely. Okay, with that positioning from the inside allocated, it's a good job I didn't rely on the templates that I got for the outside, because they were a bit out. If you look at this here, this is the original template that I had. Basically, this is the window here. So luckily I'm going to be cutting that out. It's not going to matter because this is all going to have polycarbonate, one big piece over it. I've got to do some repairs here on the gel coat here. I'm not that worried about it because it's going to be filled with Fix Tech anyway. But this here, where all these holes are, is the actual window, and I'm going to use this this form guide here just to tidy it up a little bit and basically just sketch it out, and then I'll grind it from the outside. I think I was going to do it from the inside, but it's just going to be an unbearable process. So basically all the other ones are done, all pretty tidy. They just need a final clean up. But this one here, I'll basically get this one sketched out, and then tomorrow I'll come back and grind it out with the diamond wheel grinder, and then I'll use a hole saw on the ends and get those nice radiuses. Every now and then I get so frustrated I just have to move on to something different because I just can't progress, and those roof linings in that bathroom are driving me mental. I've started to actually get to the point where I've got to do cardboard templates before I cut the fiberglass because they really aren't going to fit otherwise. I'll just show you what I mean. I've made a cardboard template of the actual roof lining here, and luckily I can see it from over top, but if I go down here, you can see them here in the back cabin. This one here is a problem. It's way too big, but I want to retain the shape because I want those nice rims on the outside to be part of the roof. Now, because I've cut the window in here, I've been able to sort of semi-clamp in the internal lining, and this actually fits really well. I've just got to obviously tidy this up, and this will be glued to the wall here, which means that this will look one piece all the way across into the cord window. So I've just finished coring that about 4 or 5 hours ago, and that's now gone hard. You can see this part here. This is my problem. This one here, I'm thinking I'm going to cut into the actual module rather than the roof lining to make this fit, just to get a really nice finish on the roof itself. And I'd rather do that, and that way I end up with those nice edges. But yeah, so I'm better off walking away from it because it's just getting to the point where I'll make a mistake and then I'm just going to regret it and have to make it again. Now, the mould sale that we had organised has fallen through. The young guys simply just can't cut it, and they've had a problem with a couple of their partners, sadly, and yeah, they're basically not going to take the mould. So, God, I'll go through this whole bloody process again. So, I'll move on to something more interesting, or our Helm station here. What I've decided to do is, this is actually the that there, the cutouts, which were my step cutouts, I'm actually going to lower this down to here, which means it'll come into here, which will make a nice sort of feature and allow me to have an area to maybe put a drink holder or something before I go into the actual instruments that are going to be placed up on here, such as the Garmin plotter. See, I've shown you this before. This is actually the plinth that's going to have the 50 winch and the 45. I'll have the 50 power winch on the outside, the 45 on the inside, and then the lines will all run up here, up to about here. So this ramp here will continue all the way to here. Now I'm actually planning to have my Garmin 12-inch plotter pretty much back in there, but lower. So in here somewhere. And that way it'll display nicely and be certainly a little bit more user friendly in there, and certainly then I'll have the other wind instruments, the autopilot and my depth and speed, and it works all the way along here, and the throttle over here. Now I do have a window here, which is a bit of a problem. That has always been a problem, but that window, we sort of felt it essential to have a window, so we're going to put that window in, and I'm going to have to work out where I'm going to put my throttle control, my dual throttle control. But yeah, that's all coming up. Zach was here the other day and we worked out that all of our electrics for the winch, for the Helm station, and the electrics for the winch can all go down through a conduit through the floor here into a compartment in the rear cabin, where it's going to be a little bit easier to access than under the fridge module that I've got here. So I've bought some 90 by 45 downpipes, and I'm going to glass them in here, give myself super highways of data and electrical cables down through that wall into that rear compartment, where it'll then be distributed off to where it needs to go. Some of it will go across the floor here and up into behind the module there where the electrical compartment will be, and a lot of it will go back obviously to the engine. That's going to be a bit of a complicated module to do, but I'm really looking forward to getting into it because it's something different from that goddamn sugar scoops. I'm getting a bit sick and tired of doing them because they're technically finished. They're not faired and final glass on them, but they do need to be totally finished up. And pretty much I've been inside those for the last few days, and I'm just looking for something different to do because the frustration level is getting to me.